I'm Danny Butler. That's the 2021 Gas 300 Racing, and this is Trial Tube. So in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the brand new 2021 Gas 300 TXT Racing. Whew, that's a mouthful. Now this bike is obviously one of the two giants of the two-stroke world. Most people normally buy a Gas or a Beta, or if they're feeling a bit fruity, go out and get a TRS, which some may say is what Jordi Tarres developed to be the newer version. However, Gas has been part of the scene for what I can say the best part of the last 30 years. Coming into trials in the 1980s with their first air-cooled models, and into the UK at a very similar point. They're kind of exploding onto the scene when Beta seems to be ruling the roost with Jordi Tarres aboard. From that point on, Gas have always been ahead of development than most brands. They've always tried new things. They were one of the first brands to bring out a bike that had a full aluminium tank, and in 1998. And it was also a bike that, to be honest, for me was very close to my heart, because John Shirt Motorcycles was just over the top of the next hill from where I live. So they are a brand that is definitely something that helped me get into trials. I used to ride a Gas full time. That was my own bike and my own bike choice. I was a Gas rider.
Well, hello, beautiful.
Moving forward through the years, Gas are still an absolute giant. Since their partnership with KTM, I could dare say that they're now a factory that has the best infrastructure in the background, which I'm hoping that that new infrastructure will hopefully bring up the quality of the build of the bikes. Although I know a Gas, and a Gas is always a bike that is very user-friendly, especially in the lower CCs. And Gas are doing a great job right now of giving consumers lots of toys, which I'm going to be talking about today. Now the new Gas TXT 300 Racing is a bike that I feel has been refined from the previous years. This is the best version of the TXT that I feel Gas have ever done. I know that they've kept their tubular frame since 2009. That's when this frame came into action. But they've really strengthened the frame up since then. They've done a great job of refining an already very good bike. You also get a lot of different parts on the Gas out the box that a lot of brands don't give you. Gas give you things like tech forks, a Riger shock, brake tech brakes. They basically say, we're Gas and we're quite comfortable with giving the toys away. Proof's in the pudding, I suppose. Let's fire up. So as a kid, there's a few things I remember, and one of the things that sticks in my mind the most is the sound of a Gas. I do love the sound of a Gas. They do sound smooth and still pretty throaty. I expect nothing less from the new one. Now I'm not saying it's been a while since I've rode a Gas, but the last time I rode one, I was 13 years old. Needless to say, I'm no longer 13 years old. But I'm extremely interested because initial feeling, the front end of this bike is seriously light, and it's not set up for me, it's set up for our lovely donor. I try my best not to get on somebody else's bike and mess with it, because what can I say, it's not easy finding brand new bikes. But this does feel really nice, very solid, planted. The weight does feel nicely over the back end of the bike, and she sounds crisp, I'll give her that. So being somebody that owns a beater, I'm always wondering what it's like on the other side of the fence. It's always the way, isn't it? You always wonder if the grass is greener on the other side. I'm not sure if it's greener, but it's pretty smooth. First thing you notice on the gas is how light the front end is on the bike. If you're looking for a bike that's very well weighted, I definitely recommend the bike. And although it is quite a wet day here today, it does feel pretty good. I've got a few small gripes. First one being, I am somebody that rides very much so covering the brakes with my legs out, as most trials riders do, but I feel when I tip the bike in, I can feel the corner of the airbox catching my calf. That is something that does affect me straight away. But then again, I do wear the Alpine Star boot and they're pretty low cut. Now, as the terrain's a little bit better today, I thought we better start making the sections a little more tasty. I've rode this bike for, I don't know, 6 minutes now, so we'll see how it goes. Now, the owner of this bike has put a flywheel weight on, making it slightly smoother, but I don't mind a bike that is a little bit more aggressive. But I'm still going to try and make it do all the hopping and jumping. So, let's get it moving. Now, first things first, the suspension is lovely. Can't fault that at all. Great work out of Riga and of course Tech. I'm thinking I might be a tad heavier than the rider of this bike looking at the back tyre. But we've got a nice little double step in front of us, which on my beater would be second gear on the 300. Where on the gas, there's part of me that wants to do this in first. It's not that big, it's just a little bit technical. So, here we go. Do love that sound. So, same section again, this time, because I felt like it was lacking. Second. So light on the front end. So here we go, second gear. Maybe a little bit more takeoff this time. Like I said, it is running the flywheel weight, so it is very smooth. But I like something with some grunt. That's why I ride a 300. Oh yeah, masses of difference. Huge. Now, first things first, something I noticed about the gas. Because of that very kind of slack head angle, it actually makes this bike fantastic when it gets steep. The steeper the better. Nice smooth engine. Now on the way up this climb, as you can see, there's a takeoff point. You have to take off. I didn't have to give it the beans too hard, but on takeoff, what you notice on the gas is the steeper the hill, the better she climbs. Also, the overrun on the 300, or the kind of continuation of the grip, is fantastic. You can literally land, let the back wheel slap into the top of the rock, and then just turn the power back on and it just keeps gripping. I'm impressed. Good work, gas.
Winner!
Now, because my bike reviews have actually started to get really popular, the one that we did on the Montesa has gone really well, I decided to start adding a few more bits to them. So, just like another very famous channel, we're going to do 3 good things about your gas and 3 things that really get on my nerves. Let's do the good points. First things first, I really like the fact that Gas have decided to give their consumers all the toys. They've basically come straight out the gate giving people what they want. A nice sectional exhaust, brake tech brakes, tech suspension, and a Riga rear shock. The second thing that I really like about the Gas, their airbox assembly is so watertight it's ridiculous. So the owner of this bike has already told me that he's been out on it a good 10 times, opened up the airbox flap, dry as a bone, absolutely fantastic. And the third thing that I like about the Gas is the fact that the rear mudguard is nice and bendy. Also, it's quite short, fitted with those 2 plastic pins in case there is a snappage going on. But on the website, it actually states that this mudguard will bend upwards towards 90 degrees without snapping. And as a beta owner, well, that's a big deal, because if you flip a bike, the first thing that's going to go is the rear mudguard. And Gas have actually thought, you know what? Instead of making our customers buy a new one every time they get the bike on the back wheel, let's just create something that doesn't break.
Oh, the years have not been kind to you. I will not be either.
Now for the bad. The first thing that happened to me when I jumped on this bike was, I don't know whether it's my boots are too low or, well, whatever it may be. On the airbox, there's this kind of edge. And this edge, as you can see, it started to rub already on this brand new bike. This edge is actually digging into my calf at the side of my boot, just above the line of your boot sitting, right in the muscle as you go around a corner, or if the bike actually hits the inside of your leg, it kind of gives you a dead leg. So that's the first little gripe. I mean, obviously they could change this by just smoothing it off a little bit, but I don't work at Gas, and are they going to care what I say? Probably not.
No.
So my second gripe is the positioning of the radiator. I feel that Gas did a lot of work to set up the frame and make it look so aesthetically pleasing. Nice tubular section, which did come in 2009, so it may be a little dated, but the way that the radiator sticks out past the frame, as you can see, it's quite pronounced, and I feel like it's quite vulnerable. I don't know, maybe an extra brace or something. I know there's some parts that you can actually buy that are aftermarket to protect this, but you don't really want to be protecting your radiator as an aftermarket part. I hope in Gas's next evolution of the bike, they do think about this. Now my final gripe, which may seem a little bit in depth, but for me personally, coming from the push bike, this bike rides a little long for my taste. So basically the head angle, or the fork angle, is a little bit swooped out for me. I do feel like the bike in some areas does have advantages with this. So on steep climbs it sits in and it grips really, really well. But I feel like on the flat, for the maneuverability of the bike, it's a hindrance. I mean, it may just be where the bars are set on this one. Like I said, this bike has been loaned to me by a great supporter of the channel, and we thank them very, very much for this. But this is just one of my personal preferences. If you like a bike that's got a slightly tighter head angle, then choose a different bike. But if you like something that's going to have those long, steep climbs down for the win, choose the Gas. Not sure if it's a gripe, it's just for me personally. Once again, thank you for watching TrialTube. Please remember to like, share and subscribe, and also turn on the notifications bell, really important. In the next few weeks, we've got some extra content coming where we'll be reviewing, is it the Future? I'm not sure, but we'll be checking out the new Vertigo, kindly loaned to us by the guys at Kamiyamoto. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Like I say, I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments, I've probably got 1,000 things wrong, but I intend to also have a couple of 100 things right. As always, cheers. Can't start it.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like